Welcome to Digital Marketing Intelligence Ask the Experts, a live bi-weekly show to help you know what to do and what's new in digital marketing for 2021 and beyond. Ask questions, suggest topics, and grow faster with actionable insights and proven strategies from the world's leading experts. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Digital Marketing Intelligence Ask the Experts. I'm Marissa Morgan, today's show host, and I'm also the Business Development Manager at Engage. On behalf of myself and the entire team at Engage, I'm really excited to welcome you to today's show. Today's guest expert has so much personality. He is so much fun, and today he's going to teach us how to create quality, compelling content quickly. He calls it the 5Ks, and we all know that create quality, compelling content quickly. Don't start with K, but we'll find out a little bit more about his program to success when it comes to not only coming up with ideas for content, but putting those ideas into play, creating great content that is not only engaging, right, for your leads, your target demographic, your customers, but it brings value to what they're looking for and can ultimately help you when it comes to converting more clients and generating leads faster. And that's what we all want in this competitive digital marketing world. So I'll introduce our guest in just a moment. I also want to remind you that after today's talk, I will be sharing our Engage digital marketing news of the week. And we're currently exploring a 5-part series of tips to help you with your LinkedIn company page. Everybody is working on growing their following for their regular personal LinkedIn page, but a lot of people are finding roadblocks or finding issues with really getting a following for their company pages. So we're exploring how you can help to boost your company page on LinkedIn. Okay, before we get started, I want to take a moment and mention our sponsor, our producer of today's show. And of course, that is Engage. If you're not familiar with the Engage platform, we offer a free forever suite of premium conversation sales and marketing tools to help you not only grow your business and scale faster, but ultimately create an optimal experience for your customer. And that's what it's all about in today's competitive marketplace. Now, each month we feature one little piece of our entire platform that offers you opportunities to optimize your customer experience. So this month, we're focusing on what we call our Engage Live program. And I'm going to put the link up for you there on your screen so you can screenshot that and visit it after today's show. Our Engage Live program was launched just a month ago, and it's an opportunity, an upgraded feature that we offer our subscribers to help them jump into the world of live streaming. We all know that live streaming is a huge thing right now in terms of engagement, in terms of getting your message across about your brand to consumers. Let's talk a little bit quickly about why you should be live streaming. At Engage, we believe you should be live streaming to build trust, which ultimately sells more. You should be live streaming to engage with an unlimited number of leads. You should be live streaming to expand your reach, to scale faster. And you should be live streaming because it allows you to track your results and also grow smarter. So these are reasons that you need to be live streaming, which is something that we're doing right now with our Digital Marketing Intelligence biweekly show. Now, Engage Live is a program that we've put into place for our subscribers to allow them to take advantage of our live stream program. Now, What you see on your screen is why you should be using Engage Live. We can help you with a proven show strategy. We give you access to streaming software. We give you email, script, and media kit templates to help you get your show up and running and make it a flawless production that is very welcoming for your guests if you decide to have guests on your show. We also provide you a show moderator, a host, just like myself, if you would like one, to help with the interview process, to help you moderate your show. We'll help you promote your show, give you access and links to the repurposed video, and also help you really understand the analytics of your show. So that's just a feature of our Engage platform that we offer to our subscribers. And every single month, we will give you a little more information about any given feature of our platform. So that is the Engage Live program, and we can give you more information about that if you're interested after today's show. Now, we are a global show. I am broadcasting live from Minnesota, the city of Wayzata, if you happen to know Minnesota, a little bit west of Minneapolis. Today's special guest is joining us from Orlando, Florida. Please welcome Terry Brock. Now, if you don't know who Terry is, you need to. Terry is trained as a journalist and has been a professional speaker since 1983. He is a member of the Professional Speaker Hall of Fame. He has worked in 44 different countries and counting, and he has racked up an impressive stack of awards, including the Council of Peers Award of Excellence, the 2018 National Speakers Association's highest award, the Cavett, and he was a 2019 inductee as a speaking legend with Veteran Speaking Network. Today, as a professional video coach, Terry leverages the daylights. I like how he says that. Leverages the daylights out of technology and digital marketing content tools to help his clients connect with their audiences, to build engagement, and also to build mutually beneficial relationships. And he is known to do that in a way that he says is more fun than the law will allow. I think we're going to experience that today. Today, he's here to help us how to basically create content, create compelling content quickly, and give you the competitive advantage that you need in today's digital world to build your business and to grow and scale faster. Terry, welcome to the show. We are a global show, so I know you're joining us from Orlando. I do want to encourage those of you joining us today to leave a comment in the comment section and let us know where you're joining from. And also, I want you to know this is a live and it's an interactive talk. So if you have any questions or comments for Terry as we go, please drop them in the comment section because we would love to pop them up on the screen and give Terry a chance to answer them. Terry, welcome to Digital Marketing Intelligence Ask the Experts. Thank you so much for being our guest expert today.
Marissa, it's wonderful to be here with you. Let's make some magic today and help some people.
I love that. Let's make some magic happen. Now, before I do that, we already have a viewer chiming in saying, great initiative, Engage Live looks promising. Well, thank you so much, Dolly, for your wonderful comment. Let us know where you're joining us from. All right, Terry, I want to pop up as we get into today's talk a slide to show our audience a few of the points that we'll be discussing. But before I do that, I want to learn a little bit more about you and give our audience a little more information and an idea about the path that led you from such a intense career in journalism and speaking to now truly becoming really an advocate for your clients in the world of content marketing and basically becoming a really highly regarded professional video coach. How did that transition take place for you?
Well, it's just been a natural evolution, I think, all through life. Starting as a kid doing some writing and then playing around with these things called audio cassettes when they came out and working with that. It was a lot of fun. And then undergrad degree was radio, TV, and newspaper, worked in all three of those areas. And I find that as I used the skills that I knew there, I also was able to speak with people and show them how to do a lot of things with technology and just kind of keep evolving. And today it's with video, because video is really hot, as you know, and as we're using right now. This is something that people need to know. We saw it really impressed on the world last year with COVID-19. And now we say, hey, this stuff can be really useful for business.
Absolutely. And you know what? As you say that, I'm remembering back to a show I did on the topic of video with our guest Rachel Wilson Thibodeau, and we shared a couple stats on that show. And I actually think I'll share them again with you now because this is exactly why Terry is here today. This is why you're here, Terry, to help us understand why we need to be doing video and live stream and creating this content. And today you're going to help us to learn how. But here's a couple fun stats for us. 80% of content consumed right now on the internet is video. 80% of content is video. And LinkedIn actually reports that live streaming on LinkedIn Live grew in popularity by 158% in the first 3 quarters of 2020. 158% in 2020. And we all know that that is a direct result of all of us really transitioning to a more virtual, remote lifestyle with work and using opportunities like Zoom, like video conferencing, like live streaming, like video messaging to engage with each other. Also, live videos on LinkedIn specifically average 7 times more reactions and 24 times more comments. So if that doesn't scream we should be using video, I don't know what does. Wouldn't you agree, Terry?
Yeah, I think so, because video is the closest we can get to actually being there with someone. For years, people say, oh, we can't have video meetings because we know being together is best. Well, yeah, that's true. But we've seen, hey, you can accomplish a whole lot over video when it's done the right way. Done the right way, video, it's almost like being there. And Marissa, it's a whole lot cheaper than all the flights and travel that we have to go through.
Oh my goodness. With a background that I have in acting specifically, I've learned a lot about how this has changed the relationships in the business and how things are done when it comes to shoots because the clients used to fly in for the shoot and stay at very fancy hotels and eat out and the tabs were incredible and now everything's done remotely, which is great because ultimately it saves a lot of money for, the person, the client who's funding the shoot, the product, whatever. Just it's changed a lot how people are doing business. And I think we're all becoming, in my opinion, much more efficient because we have these incredible tools. Hey,
Yeah,
speaking of tools,
absolutely.
Terry, speaking of tools, we already have a question that just popped up about one of the tools you're using for today's show. Greg Williams just has a curiosity question. He says, Terry, why is your mic turned sideways versus head on? I know you teach the little things that make a big improvement, and thus the reason I posed the question.
That's a great question and good to have you with us, Greg. Thanks for that. This microphone, by the way, the reason we use a microphone like this is because audio is the most important part of video. You want to
Hmm.
make sure that your audio is coming through well. And so by putting it here, it sounds a lot better than if I put it over here. Do you notice a difference in the sound quality? Or worse yet, when people come, hello, I'm
Right?
right back here.
100%. I noticed the difference. How come yours is sideways? Is that for a specific
Oh, I just
reason?
put it like this so that way it's coming across here and a little
Mhm.
bit over here on the top. I've seen that often gives the best overall sound.
Awesome. Hey, Greg, thanks for that great question. And Dolly just chimed in that she is joining us from India and that she loves the
Very good.
Engage platform. Haha, very nice. Thank you so
Very
much
good.
for
Hello
being
to India. We love you.
right. Thank you so much. It's late in India. Thank you for joining us, and I'm glad you enjoyed the platform. Okay, Terry. So you've made this transition from journalism, speaking, and now you're really helping your clients to, as you say, attain these mutually beneficial relationships, right? And engage with their leads and their consumers and their clients. What is the most common problem that you find your clients are looking for you specifically to help them solve? Is there one problem across the board that your clients are like, Terry, I need you. I need help.
Yeah, it changes throughout the years. I see it going up and down. Right now, it's how do we get going on video? How do we look good on video? And what do we
Mm,
do to look good on video and then to create content? How do we get that out there so that it's something that people go, hey, we want to watch that. We want to see that. We want to hear that podcast. What can we do to make that happen? And so, what we do is we always start with how can we help people to solve their problems? I think that's the real key. When you can do that and then bring in the technology just for the fun of it, then you get a lot more done that way.
You just touched on an incredibly important point. It's how do you help people solve their problems? Because as we've learned, especially through this, biweekly show series, you have to know your customers' pain points. You have to know what their needs are. in order to make your content relevant. And that's an incredibly important thing that I think we all need to remember. It's not just about creating what we think is good content, but it's about taking the time to figure out your customers' wants and needs, right?
Absolutely. You know, one of the things we do I'm a member of the National Speakers Association, and we have an award there that you earn. Actually, it's called the Certified Speaking Professional, CSP. And I think that we should be CSPs, only I'm going to not only say, yes, that's a good thing, I am one of those, but I think we need to be communicators who solve problems. And that means we use video, we use audio, we use text and writing. We'll use a host of different tools to solve those problems. And I think if we can look at that as you're watching this now, those of you that are at home, you're watching this, think in terms of how you can solve problems for others. And the more you can be a problem solver, the better off you're going to be and communicate in different ways.
I like that. Well, let's dive right into today's topic. So, today we're going to talk about what Terry calls as the 5Ks. It's how to create quality, compelling content quickly. And we're going to talk about what entrepreneurs need to know about creating content. And then Terry's going to share with us some very useful tips for not only creating content, but making sure that content is most importantly engaging. But the one thing you want to remember throughout this talk is you always want to focus on your customers' wants and needs. You want to be giving information to your customers that is of value to them, right? And we can also spend some time at the end of the show talking a little bit about, different ways that you can be giving away that information that's value in different ways. That I think I just repeated myself, but different ways to provide value to your customer, your client, your lead. So, Terry, let's jump into the first part of our talk, which is really what entrepreneurs need to know first and foremost about creating content. Do you have a kind of a holy Bible of what we need to know, a couple of
Well,
specific things?
I don't know if there's any one specific answer, but I think what you want to do is you want to start, as Simon Sinek tells us, start with a why. Why do you want to do this? What is it that your customers are looking for? Because let's face it, there's no lack of stuff out there on the internet. It used to be there was very few videos out there. I remember before YouTube, there were a few, but not that many. Now the challenge is, hey, there's so many really good videos. How do we keep up with them all? And so you want to make sure that it's something that is compelling. That's where I get the 5K, get it, the K sound and all that. But you want to be able to create that. It needs to be compelling. And you also need to be able to do it quickly. If it takes you 3 years to create one video, you're
Ooh.
not going to be punching out a whole lot of video. And you want to take the time to figure out the systems so that you can do it very rapidly and it still is quality. Because you can put something out there rapidly and it looks really crummy. But you want to make sure that it looks really professional and it comes across so that it really solves the problems that your target market is dealing with.
You know what's funny? I know you have the 5Ks. I may have just added a K.
And
What
what would
about
that
being
be?
what about being consistent too,
Ooh, I would agree.
right? And of course, Carrie, now I'm gonna call you Carrie because of the
Carrie,
K.
I'm not even a carry anymore, but that's okay.
You call them the 5Ks, but the first time we spoke on a Zoom to talk about collaborating for a talk, what's funny is I said, well, I feel like 5K actually relates directly anyway, because as you put out more quality, compelling content quickly, and you're consistent about it, ultimately you are going to gain more followers. And we always use K, right? In terms of, oh, I've got 5K followers, 10K followers, 30K followers, right? So kind of ties hand in hand there. But I think another thing we've talked about, especially, from our team's perspective at Engage, is being consistent. Doing quality content, right? That you put together, it's compelling, you get it done, you get it out there. If you only do it, I don't know, every 6 weeks when you feel like it, right? Not being consistent is definitely not going to work in terms of building your audience, right?
Yeah, exactly. Consistency is really important. Think of it like TV. You have TV where you've been trained that, okay, every Tuesday at 8 o'clock on this channel, this program's on. And if it's not there, you think, hey, what's going on? Something's wrong here. You want to be consistent. Find a time that works for you. There's tools that can help you find out what is best for your market. Put them out at different time periods, find out what works best, and then look at those tools. One that I'm using right now that I'm just getting into and looking forward to doing more with over on YouTube side is called Tube Buddy. And Tube Buddy can look at your audience, what you're doing, and when they're most likely to watch and when they're not. And then when you're sending out content that's already done, you want to take a look at what's going to be best for your target market, wherever they are on the planet, because we do need to think more internationally today. The world does not begin and end at the Atlantic and Pacific.
So true. Okay, so being consistent is key. Obviously, creating content that is of value to your audience. Now, TubeBuddy does what again? That sounds like a great tool. It helps you figure out where you're. What does that help you figure out, Terry?
It has a host of tools built into it. One of them
Mhm.
is you can find what's more likely to get results. When is your audience most likely to be there? Is it on Tuesday and Thursday at 3 o'clock your time or something else? And you can find that out by putting out a lot of content. And then they look not only at what you're doing, but what other similar channels are doing. So channels that are
Oh.
similar to yours are doing certain techniques. And you say, oh, this is working over and over and over for these 10 people here. Maybe I should think about that. Or maybe if everyone is there on Thursday at 3 o'clock Eastern time, maybe I should do something else. Come over here and do a little bit different angle on it rather than doing the same thing that everybody else is doing.
I like that. That's great. So that's the first of many tools I know you're going to share with us. So being consistent, and then also I think being consistent in your location as well. If you're going to do a YouTube show, be consistent about the time and the date. Use a tool like TubeBuddy, right, to figure out the best time and date. But what do you think about being consistent in terms of the location, as in, if you're gonna do a YouTube show, do a YouTube show, and be consistent about that. I don't think, in my opinion, that it would be beneficial to do a YouTube show one week, and then the next week you're like, "La, la, la, squirrel, squirrel. Oh, I'm gonna write a blog this week. Oh," then the next week it's like, "I'm gonna try to do a podcast." I think it's very important to be very consistent in a dedicated location. You can have multiple locations, right, as many people do,
Yeah,
but
that's a
making
good
sure
idea.
that you're dedicated in your location.
Yeah, one of the things you can do, for instance, you're using StreamYard for this
Mhm,
right here. I use a product called Restream, and there's other tools you get so you can be in different places all at the same time. So you
mhm.
can be on, like with Restream, you can be on 30 different platforms at the same time. And that is nice because that way you're going to your customers where they are. You're not saying, hey, you got to come over here to this platform only. That's the only place I'm going to be. And people say, I don't want to go there. Certain platforms, like for instance, today, some people don't want to go and use Facebook. I
Right.
think it's okay, but I understand and appreciate that. Well, if you're saying I'm just going to always do it on Facebook, okay, that's fine, but then you're losing out on all the people that say they don't want to be there. I think it's much better to say, let's be here, here, and here when you're doing live. And then when you've got a product that's recorded, and you want to send that out, I like some of those scheduling programs that are available that allow me to send a piece of information out to LinkedIn and Twitter and YouTube and whatever platforms I might want in different places at different times. So I'll often schedule something to go out and I'll say, start this at 3:47 this afternoon, and then every 36 hours, send it out again. Why every 36 hours? Well, because that way it's kind of walking around the clock. First of all, you can't post more than once in a 24-hour period on Twitter. Okay, so we do
Hmm.
that. But then if you're doing it every 36 hours, what's happening is that message, say I put it out at 6 a.m. That means the next time it comes out, it's going to go out at 12 p.m. Then the next time it'll be 6 p.m. And then the next time 12 midnight. Why would I do that? Well, if you have an international audience, well, then you're reaching them at a different time during the day. You
Mm.
might think, well, I'm not going to send anything out between 12 midnight and 4 a.m. my time. Well, okay, that's good. But then you're missing out on all those other folks on the planet that are awake and doing business during that time.
That's a great tip. So we're not only going to be dedicated in being consistent, with a time and a place, let's just say, just like our old school, cartoon shows or the shows we loved watching growing up. Now everything's on demand, so you can kind of pick and choose when you
Hmm.
want to watch it. But being consistent in the time and the place, being being consistent in a dedicated location, but being open to multiple locations and using a tool like Restream or StreamYard to be able to stream simulcast to many locations. But as you just mentioned, then another great idea for building engagement is then using repurposed video and repurposed content and sending that out, but staggering the times. That way, you have a better chance of truly creating a global presence, a global engagement because you're
Exactly. It depends on your business. If you're running a retail store and you're just in this one area, well, then
right.
obviously you'd want to find out when are your customers most likely to be aware. If
Mhm.
all you do is operate at, say, a restaurant in one town, and you
Yeah.
say, "Well, I'm not going to do anything between 12 at night and 6 in the morning," okay, that there's probably a case that could be made for that.
Probably works, but yes.
But you got to look at what works for you.
Right. If you think about the huge retailers that are brick and mortar still, they have quite a large hourly right gap that they're open. And then, of course, they have usually now their online presence, which is 24/7. And then for the big corporations in retail that obviously don't have brick and mortar and are only online, that's 24/7, 365. And nowadays you can order something and get it in less than 48 hours to your house. It's pretty
Oh,
incredible.
I know. I'm
Pretty
amazed at what they do with Amazon right now. I can order something. I remember in a classic that blew me away. I had a bulk surge protector, plug it in and everything, and it went out, just blew up at about 8 p.m. one night. I'm sitting here in my office, hardly bothering anybody, and all of a sudden, boom, there it goes. I thought, oh no, what am I going to do? Well, I'll order something from Amazon. But I placed the order at 8:30 at night. It was at our security desk by 5 the next morning. And I thought, whoa, that is incredible logistics. And the way that they've gone through to do what needs to be done, that is amazing. And the price was reasonable. I mean, it was just exactly what it was. A real reasonable price, less than $20 for something that was really, really good. And I thought, okay, Amazon, you got me as a customer.
That's pretty incredible. And, there they are. They are building trust when they get it like to you when they say they're going to. And then I will say their website continues to be pretty engaging. They continue to revamp and upgrade their website as well. So
Y-
they're doing
And I think the
everything
real
right.
lesson for us is if our customers are experiencing that from Amazon, they're used to it. And so they're
Mm,
expecting that kind of alertness and the consistency from us as well. So we got to up our game, lean on the systems, develop the systems. And that's one of the things I love. I'm going to put a plug in here for Engage in what you've got. I am now a customer. As of last night, I wanted to get on there and see it. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is amazing. The kind of things you can automate and put together, like the robots you have and the
mhm,
ability to answer those questions. If everyone is asking, do you serve green eggs and ham at your restaurant? Well, then you want to build that in and you can
right.
customize it that way. So think through what you can automate, like Amazon has done, when you're doing the product creation. Because the more you can automate it and retain that professionalism, so it's
Mhm,
quality, and you're
mhm.
doing it consistently, getting that content out, that's going to be a good thing for you.
Well, let's dive more deeply into content because everyone's so excited to hear what you have to say. And if you're just joining us, we are streaming live right now on LinkedIn Live. We are also on YouTube and Facebook. We do like to give an array of places that you can watch us live. If you're watching, leave us a comment in the comment section. Let us know where you're joining us from. And as Terry continues to dive a little bit here into creating content, creating compelling content quickly, feel free to leave any questions you may have for Terry. So, Terry, let's talk a little bit about useful tools. You already mentioned Tube. What was the Tube one you
Tube
mentioned?
Buddy.
Tube
Tube
Buddy. I don't
Buddy.
know. It makes me laugh. I always think tube socks with the word tube. I don't know
Well,
why.
there are tube socks too, and they're very good too. But
Very, very,
and I'm
very
sure they
cool.
would be a buddy with Tube Buddy as well.
All right. So you talked about Tube Buddy and you talked a little bit about you using Restream. Share with us some other tools that you use in creating your content.
Well, let's start at the beginning of the cycle because there's a cycle you go through. It's like, where are you going to come up with these ideas? And they're going to be from multiple sources.
Mhm.
Often, when we're reading something, or maybe we're watching a YouTube video, and we go, oh, "Hey, that's a good idea," and you want to write that down. But here's what will happen. Often, I don't know about if this ever happens to any of you out there, but I'll get an idea and I go, "Oh, that's a good idea. I'll remember that." By golly, yes, I will. And guess what happens? No, I don't remember it. So what you want to do is you want to capture that idea. I love the way Earl Nightingale said it. He was called the Dean of Personal Development, started a company, Nightingale Conant Corporation, years ago, and they did a lot of training and audio cassette tapes and LPs before that, and then gradually moved into other media as well. But he would say, when you get an idea, you've got to stab it with a pen. You wonder, well, what's he talking about? Well, what he meant was get a pen and paper. That was the technology back then, and we still use that today, and write it down. You want to make sure you write it down and do not believe that little lie in your head that's going, oh, I'll remember that. Yeah, yeah. Instead, write it down. But I'm going to take what Earl says, agree with him fervently, but upgrade it to 2021 and say what you want to do is when you get an idea, you want to record it quickly here. And I don't mean necessarily typing, although you can do that. That's a good option. Dictation is a real great way to do it because think about it. You can talk faster than you can type.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you can sit there and say, hey, this is a great idea and put it someplace that works really well, like Google Docs, or I'm using right here my Samsung Note 20 Ultra. I can use this and they have a Samsung Notes. So I can quickly put all the ideas as they come out, just dump them in there. So then when that time comes and you go, okay, the clock is rolled around, the calendar is rolled around. It's now Monday at 8 a.m., whatever time it's going to be for you. It's time for me to crank out some content. Well, you often sit there and they go, what am I going to say? Well, you go back to that place where you stored all those ideas, noodle them around a little bit, take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then go for it and start putting your content out that way. I think that's a good way to do it. So a good tool, get your phone, use that and use something like Samsung Notes, or I love Google Docs. Using Google Docs and using the Google voice typing. Marissa, have you used that voice typing on Google Docs?
I have. Well, I've used it on my phone. I've not used it on Google Docs.
Yeah, it is amazing on Google Docs and the accuracy of it. Oh my goodness. It's like, I'm impressed with that. And that's really something because we're taught in journalism to sit back and go, yeah, right. Uh-huh. Sure. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And I'm looking at it going, whoa, this is really good. And so I would encourage those of you watching this, think about this. You want to get in there, experiment with Google Docs, go into tools and voice typing. And you're going to see that. And I'll bet you your jaw is going to drop with, oh my goodness, look at how nice that is. So that's a great way to start building up your content. Get lots of ideas so that when it is time to write your article, to record your podcast, to do your video or whatever it is you're doing, you've got it right there ready to go.
You know, you talking about organizing your thoughts and having them all in one place is an excellent tip, obviously, for our viewers, especially because, as you said, you were here today to teach us how to create compelling content quickly, right? So having that one go-to place for your thoughts, incredible tip. It does make me, by the way, think about the importance of when you are engaging with your customers, just kind of taking your tip and kind of flipping it to when you're engaging with your customers, right? And you're engaging with them over multiple social media channels. It's almost the same thing. It's very important to have a singular inbox for all of your messages to come. And that's one of the tools we offer with our platform. So it's incredibly important in today's day and age with all of the technology and digital marketing and all of the globalization that has happened to have a singular place always to collect all of your contacts, that CRM, all of your messages, a single inbox, all of your thoughts, like Terry's saying, right, Terry, all of your thoughts, your ideas for your content, having that be in a singular place, because that obviously is going to streamline your communication with your customer. It's going to streamline your content creation when you're relying on yourself to remember everything. So incredible tip. And it totally relates back to even the way we communicate with customers and having a single inbox. So.
Yeah, that eliminates the confusion because when you get confusion out there, you're not going to be as rapid and you need to be able to get that content out there that's quality, do it quickly. If you got a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit over here, well, you're going to be in trouble. But make it a discipline. And again, it's systems. My company's name is Achievement systems for a
Systems.
reason. Having those systems in place lets you know, okay, I'm going to do this, then I'll do that, put all these things together. And I think that's really important. My partner, Gina Carr, is an industrial engineer. Systems and industrial engineering is what she studied. And so we get along really well, being able to say, okay, let's make sure that we have the right systems. How can we develop a system? And I would say it's worth the time, money, and energy that you'll put into developing the right systems. So that way you can create that quality content quickly and get it out there, and it'll be compelling because you're also doing research. You go, oh, 44% of people in my target market want to do this or want to do that. That's a good set. Pop that into your idea file so that then you can go to that idea file and get the ideas you need.
Great, great tip. Okay, let's talk a little bit. I mean, I've tuned into a few of your shows on LinkedIn Live. They're very engaging. I
Well,
see a lot
thank you.
of graphics. You're welcome. A lot of graphics happening, a lot of fun stuff happening on your screen that naturally has led me to continue watching. So, what about some tips and insights for you've got your idea, you know the needs and wants of your customer or your client or your potential lead, so you're getting ready to create a video, or you've decided even to come on board with Engage and help Engage produce a live stream for you. What are some of the tools that you can offer our audience for creating this compelling content, as you say, engaging content?
Well, there are several that are out there. Once you've got your ideas, you think, okay, now I know what I want to say. One of the first tools that I use, generally speaking, is remember these things, Marissa, called paper and pen. And I start with that with a mind map. Tony Buzan's idea of doing a mind map, just so I can get the ball rolling in that direction. Oh, I want to mention this. And then don't forget this. Oh, and there's 5 or there's 6, maybe no, there's 7 points I can make about that one. And I start putting those down. Then I go from there into start building the assets. So I use a tool, I use a combination of tools. It will depend on which kind of video I want to do. But often I'll use a tool called Big View. That's spelled BIGVU. Big View, which I have on both my Android device, and I also have an iPhone 11. So I can use it on both. And I like having both so that I can tap into whichever platform has the best app that I need. But I can record with that. And then if I want, which is often, I let it create the captions for me. So we just upload it to their site. In a magical moment, you click a button, create captions, and then it creates the captions below for you. So that way you've got something that is going to be even more compelling, because they tell us that many people, most people, matter of fact, in offices are watching videos with the sound off. And so if the
Hmm.
sound is off, you want those captions below. That makes it real handy. I like using Big View for that. And I don't do that all the time, but it depends on what we want. But that's a good tool right there. And then for doing some editing, there are several good tools out there. The one that I'm familiar with, the one I use, is CMac, Camtasia for Mac. And so I've got my MacBook Pro. I use Camtasia. They also have a Windows version. And I find that it's really professional. It does a great job with it. It's pretty easy to use. I've used tools like Final Cut Pro. There's others called Adobe Premiere that are really good. They're a little bit more involved. And so I think you've got to find what works best for you, but find something that makes it easy for you to operate quickly. Once you get to know it, you can do pretty well with it. So between Big View and then using Camtasia, I can do a lot. And then another tool that I use extensively on the video side is called eCam. That's ECAMM. It works on Macs. You have to have a real computer to do it. A Macintosh. Do you get that little dig there? You have to have a real computer there, but it works with those, and it gives you the ability to do some really incredible tools and put some things on the screen, controlling it and doing your graphics, and you're really the full-blown production studio right there for a very low price.
Wow. So Big View, and that's going to help with the recording. Camtasia, which can help you with the editing
Editing and recording.
and recording, and then Ecamm, which is what again?
Ecamm is good for bringing in special effects or graphics, making something automated so that you can go through simply by pressing a button, you get a chance to see what it's there. And it really is not, and also it can do the recording itself. So having that combination means there's a little bit of overlap between those programs, but those
Mhm.
are 3 that I use. And again, there's a host of them out there. Find the ones that work best for you, those that you can get training on, and key is where you can get the support you need. Each of those three have really good support, and I've used them regularly on all three platforms. And knowing that I've got someone there 24/7 to help me in some way. Particularly with Big View, it's like that, and with Ecamm, you have the Facebook group with I think they got over 15,000 users now who are incredibly helpful. With Camtasia, they have good support. I don't think it's 24/7, but I've had superlative experience working with them.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, are we set up today to work the Ecamm with the StreamYard?
Well, actually, I did some interesting here. Those
Yeah.
watching know that when you work with computers, sometimes there's an oh whoops. I think we can
Mm.
use that phrase right now. We'll use oh whoops. There are actually some more colorful military phrases came to mind, but we'll leave it at oh whoops for right now.
Okay.
And working with that, and I spent a lot of time this weekend to see how we can do that. But for some reason, it doesn't seem to be working with this particular setup that we have here.
Got
So
it.
we can't do all of that. But what we can do is I can do some things to show you I'm using because of the tools that are there. And another little tool that I want to mention first is I can say, okay, when you do things, you want to make sure that you do it very fast, because when you don't do it fast, then it goes wrong. Otherwise, you could run into a little bit of a problem. One of those that starts going real crazy when you do it. But when it works just right, it comes together. You know what that's like, Marissa. Things come together. It's beautiful. Here in Orlando, we like to say it's just like magic. And so we have it together and those things. Now, what have I done there? I've got your attention. You've been able to listen to it. You go, oh, okay, that's kind of fun. Little sound effects and things. I'm using a tool over here called Stream Deck. Stream Deck is a great little tool here. I'm going to hold this up. I'm going to take a little risk here on this little tool right here. And this is their Stream Deck XL. It's got 32 keys here, but I can create folders within those to have even more. And what happens is when I press a key, look at this. Playing a little song that I have programmed to be there. Okay, that's a really nice song, but I'm going to turn it off. And by the way, that comes free, royalty free, completely legal for you to use with their new version of Stream Deck. Really, really nice. So what you're going to be able to do is set yourself apart from the rest, because now people have Zoom. I remember back in way long ago in 2019. Remember that, Marissa? Long ago,
Long
so
ago,
many
I do.
eons ago, it seems like it was
Vaguely.
a big deal that if you could say, hey, I know how to share my screen in Zoom. Woohoo, that was really something. Now, the table stakes have gone very high. You want to do something that is professional, that is compelling. So people hear that, they hear the sound, and they go, oh, that's good. And matter of fact, I would have to say, someone is there asking for you, and the alarm is going off right now. You've got to make sure you address that and get with it. Oh, there's the doorbell. Did you hear that? Marissa, somebody's at the door. What am I going to do? Oh, no. Oh, no. I
Oh
guess
my
it's
goodness. What's
the
fun about that
opportunities are
though,
there.
Terry, what's fun about that is should you be on a Zoom call that's not going well, you can just set yourself up to, oh, I'm so sorry. Someone's at the door. I need to go. That's really
Yeah, I
fun.
guess you could do that.
By the way, Jasmine is joining us and she said this is just such a fun conversation and such a fun talk. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
Jasmine.
Jasmine. And Marcelo's joining us. We call Marcelo one of our original engagers. He's been tuning in every week to our show. So thank you again for your support
Thanks for
and
being here,
joining us.
Marcelo.
He says this is such an amazing talk. So thank you so much for joining us. Now, I do want to say this. We're starting to run out of time, which is okay because
I
there's
thought
so
we had
much to
16
learn.
hours for this. Weren't we
I
going to be
know,
here 16 hours today?
but
I don't
I
think the
do
internet would want that.
I do want to share with our audience who's watching that I really do encourage you to connect with Terry on LinkedIn because I just caught one of his shows yesterday, one of his live streams, and he uses all of these tools. He uses the eCam. There's all kinds of graphics that happen during his talk, and it's just incredibly engaging. It's a great way to learn, firsthand through watching Terry how you can use these different tools and then obviously transition them into creating your own live stream and making that truly engaging. So if it's okay with you, Terry, I'd like to share your LinkedIn link for our
Yes,
audience to connect
by
with
all
you.
means.
Perfect. That's going to be linkedin.com. And then we've got the /marketer, Terry Brock. And then Terry, let's talk a little bit about what our audience can find at terrybrock.com /5 lowercase k. What's happening there?
That is where I have a special course that is available to you, and it shows you how you can come up with the ideas, how you capture them, then how you go into using these tools that I've just mentioned here a little bit more in depth. There's 3 videos with it, and it's in a Google Doc, so you can get in there and see what's available, along with several other videos that relate to that. And the price on it for you today is zero. It's free. I just want you to get in there and have some fun with that. And seriously, I want to help the community out because many people have helped me. So I put a lot of information into that. So you can go there, you get the information there. You'll see how to go through the whole process from getting the ideas to recording them, putting them together, and then disseminating them, getting them out into the world, and then tracking them, and then how to get more ideas to come back. It's a circle. So you just keep going, but that's available. Remember, it's lowercase k on that, terrybrock.com/5K.
I like the FREE because obviously we are a huge advocate for that at Engage. We are big disruptors in the technology, software, cloud-based area because our software is completely free to subscribers. It offers 25 plus tools, marketing, sales, and support for companies to grow and scale. And we believe that, software and tools being free is really the future of where software is going, especially cloud-based software and apps. And Terry, we appreciate you offering free tools and information to our audience to help them as they continue their exploration of content, creating compelling content, and creating it quickly. So thank you
Yeah,
so
well, I'm
much
glad to do that
for
because,
sharing
again,
that.
people have helped me so much, and I want to be able to contribute back to others and do that. And also, hey, this is business. Business is done that way. People say, oh, okay, I tried the free stuff. And yes, we have other things that we sell later, but hey, let's get to know each other. Let's get a chance to say it. And if you go, whoa, I like the way you did that. I like that. That was really good. Could you also do this for us? And you say, okay, fine. I'm a stark raving capitalist, free market kind of guy, believe in peaceful living. That's what my agorapreneurs is all about, the idea of living in peace and voluntarily and doing that. And so I love what you're doing at Engage. You've got some really good tools that I'm just getting into now. And it's kind of like I'm there going, I want to get more of this stuff. There is so there. And so I'm looking at it and giving real value. And I realize, okay, as you give me that value, I'll say, hey, I want a little bit more. And that will be available. But I know you're coming from a giving spirit. And
Mhm.
that's really important.
Our whole model is all of our tools are free forever. Free forever. There's no locks, there's no upgrades. And we offer great additional services to our subscribers. For instance, if someone wants help producing their own live stream show, we can help them do that. Yes, that is not for free because obviously there's a lot of work that goes into getting something like that up and running, but it's a service that we offer our subscribers. And I think this business model, in my mind, Terry, mimics the way that we should be engaging with our target demographic, right? We should be giving some of our best information, our tips. We should be giving some of that information for free because that helps to show a potential customer or lead that you have something of value, right? It helps give you credibility in a world where there's so many choices, right? It helps you stand apart from your competitors. And it also helps to build and engage. It helps build engagement and it helps build trust, right? We all
Absolutely.
know that we can't give everything away for free, but if you can help somebody get started, as you mentioned, and they find your tips or your insights, your blog or your live streams valuable to them, then they're more likely to continue to come to you when they need help. And ultimately, it is going to build a relationship. The relationship will then turn into probably a client. So, it's a great way to think about things from a business model standpoint, being disruptive for us in the software industry and cloud-based app industry, just as it is for someone like you who's a video coach and consultant. You stand apart because you offer some of your tools, like today you coming on here offering your tools. You're sorry, I'm trying to talk and all I see are comments on the side of the screen, so let me go ahead and be engaging and welcome you guys to the forum here. Augusto says thank you so much for the talk.
Oh, you bet, Augusto.
Greg Williams says thanks, Marissa and Terry. I found this talk to be very informative.
Thank you, Greg.
May says, thank you, Terry, for helping me up my video game.
Oh, you're most welcome, Mace. Good to see you, buddy.
I like video game because it's kind of their play on words, a video game and also a video game. Terry, I do have to jump into our Engage Digital Marketing News of the Week. So I am going to thank you so much for joining us today. Other than connecting with you on LinkedIn and leaving a message that our audience saw you on today's show, or visiting your Terry Brock 5K, anything else you'd like to leave with our audience today before I bid you a farewell?
Yeah, I would say, first of all, thank you for taking your time, your most precious resource, to be here. And I wanted to make sure that you can use it. And by the way, that 5K program really is good. Even though I put it together, it's mine. I want to help you with that. And I'd love to stay in touch. If there's a way that I can help you, you got some questions, let me know. And by the way, if you come in on LinkedIn, let me know you saw it here. So that'll be good for me. I get a lot of people that are connecting with me on LinkedIn. I love that platform. Really good. The more I'm using LinkedIn, the more I love it. And so stay in touch. And if there's a way I can help out, please let me know.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And yes, if you want to learn more on how to use content marketing and learn how to create compelling content quickly with Terry's program, make sure you screenshot the screen right now. And if you are watching again via the podcast format audio, it is www.terrybrock.com. And that's a forward slash, right? 5K? Yes, that's
Yes.
a forward slash.
Yeah,
5K
it's a slash. And by the
lowercase.
way, if they're listening on audio, Terry and Brock can be spelled different ways. Terry is Terry, and Brock is spelled the right way, Brock. So terrybrock.com. Come on over and let's get to know each other.
I love that. Terry, thank you so much for Terry Cherry. Thank you so much, right, for sharing your tips and tricks today on how to create compelling content quickly, which is incredibly important now considering 80% of the content now consumed on the internet is video. So Terry, thank you again so much. I'm going to dive into our Engage Digital Marketing News of the Week.
Thank you,
Thank
Marissa.
you.
Great to be with you.
Thank you so much, Terry. You guys, incredible information from Terry. And Marcelo also says very cheerful and I'm tongue tied today, you guys. Very cheerful, informative, this event. Thank you so much, Marcelo. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so we're talking about live stream. We're talking about video. It's a way to engage. It's a way to be where your consumers are, right? Where your customers are. And that's what Engage is all about. It's all about engaging with your customers where they are, when they want, how they want, and building that trust, building that relationship. And you can do that when you provide something something of value to your customer. And Terry shared some excellent tools. And again, some of those tools are Big View, Camtasia, right? Stream Deck, and Ecamm. So check those out and don't forget to connect with Terry on LinkedIn and let him know that you saw him today on Digital Marketing Intelligence Ask the Experts. Okay, it is time for today's, or I should say this week's Digital Marketing News of the Week. So right now we're in the middle of a 5-part series to discuss how to improve engagement on your LinkedIn company page. So, to make your LinkedIn page appear lively, interactive, and interesting to potential customers, our tip this week is to use community hashtags. Now, you can choose up to 3 specific hashtags to associate with your page, making it more discoverable for members interested in that hashtag. You'll also be able to react and comment on conversation taking place on that hashtag feed from the perspective of your brand, which can help to create your brand's distinctive point of view. And as we learned during our show with Mark Satterfield just last week, having a distinctive point of view is very important for creating your brand online and also for creating content as well. It's all about a distinctive point of view. Another smart tactic, especially as you gain more followers, is to find and host popular events related to your industry through LinkedIn interests. This creates opportunities, just like this one, for real-time interaction and engagement. All right, well, that's today's, or I should say this week's Digital Marketing News of the Week, and a few tips on how to help engagement and build a following for your company LinkedIn page. Again, thank you to Marcelo, to Mace, to Greg Williams, to Augusto, to Jasmine, and also to Dolly for joining us and tuning in for our interactive talk. If you're just joining us, maybe you missed out on the show or you have colleagues that would benefit from Terry Brock's insights today, you can go and follow us on LinkedIn, and that's going to be our LinkedIn company page right there. Follow us on LinkedIn for upcoming show dates and times. You can also follow us on LinkedIn for additional replays of today's show that you can share with your friends and colleagues. Now, if you have questions or you have topics that you'd like to see us talk about on our show, feel free to reach out to me directly. You can do that on LinkedIn. I am /the Marissa Morgan, or you can email me at marissa.m@engage.com. If you have topic suggestions you'd like us to ask the experts, if you have questions about the Engage platform, or you'd even like a walkthrough demo of our platform, I'd happily be happy to do that for you personally. You guys, I have had a tongue-tied kind of day. I think it's because we have a holiday week coming up. And so I hope that this has been such an informative show for you, and I hope you've enjoyed it so much. And I do want to wish you all a great holiday weekend. Let you know that we are taking a hiatus next week for the holiday, and we're really excited because when we come back after the holiday on July 13th at 12 p.m. Eastern, our guest expert is the world's most influential technology futurist, and his name is Daniel Burrus. He's a award-winning speaker and an award-winning author, and he'll be joining us to talk about why being anticipatory versus reactionary is the key to growth in 2021 and beyond. What does that mean? Being anticipatory, right? Anticipatory versus reactionary. Well, we want you to tune in July 13th for that incredible talk with Daniel Burrus, who is an award winning futurist and an award winning author as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, for being interactive. Thank you so much for all of your incredible comments and questions. And have a wonderful 4th of July holiday weekend. I will see you all back here on July 13th with Daniel Burrus. Have a great weekend, everyone.